Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here in Los Angeles, being joined with the trainer of Jermell Charlo, Mr. Derrick James, who is training him for this title defense against Austin Trout coming up next Saturday at the Staples Center. Whenever him and his brother fight, there's always a lot of anticipation. He's on a hot streak right now. Jermell has really given a great account for himself in fights, but he's fighting a guy in Trout that went 12 rounds with his brother, and people are comparing that to this fight, though they're different fighters. But how do you see this fight, and how different is it going to be from his brother's fight with Austin Trout, you feel?
I think that they have two different skill sets. I believe that Jermell is a bigger, stronger, more massive fighter. He uses his size, right? Jermell is smaller, faster. He's going to use athleticism and his intellect. And he's very fast, man, very fast hands. So that'll be the difference, first of all. I mean, and I think that it's just two different type of fighters. They both look alike, but then they really kind of don't. But hey, man, it is what it is, man.
People are seeing that Hurd fight that Trout had, and looking that because he got stopped, that he's vulnerable, that he's not the same Trout that he was a few years ago when he was fighting Cotto or Canelo. Are you part of that thought, or do you feel he still has a lot left in him?
Yeah, man, he has a lot left in him. I'm thinking about he's a very intelligent guy, man. He knows what he can do. This is not just for a paycheck. It's asinine and to be disrespectful to think about that the guy just getting in the ring just to get a check. No, he really believes he can be champ, and I believe that in this fight he'll come out all gunslinging. It may be his last opportunity. So he's never fought and been desperate, right? I think you may see the guy that Cotto fought against. I mean, it's very possible you may see that guy. So I watch him at his best, never at his worst. Never when he's not doing so great. I watch the best of fights on video of Austin Trout. Then, so I never watch him doing bad, because you can't get that perception of a guy who's very, very intelligent, very smart, and very athletic, and a great fighter.
He's a tricky guy when he wants to be, that's for sure, and he can give a lot of guys problems.
All the time. Think about it. He was beating Jared Hurd. I mean, and Jared Hurd knew it, but he knew, I'm going to get him, and he got him. So it's just so much about us being smart, us being intelligent, and us doing our thing.
How do you see the fight playing out when you really look at it and see the things that gives Trout problems, seeing what you have with Mel? How do you see it?
I don't know. I mean, if I did that, man, I couldn't sleep at night. So I just let it be. I go in on my strategy, on my game plan, on my ideas. That's what I work with. I can't foresee that, because if I did that, man, I'd go crazy. So I don't get that deep into it.
So it's just you work on, obviously, a plan, but once the work is done, you go ahead and move on.
I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to eat or do anything. I'll be so focused on this everything else. So my deal is to see everything he does great, everything he does bad, and just grow from that and watch and learn and get Jermell ready for whatever we're getting ready for.
154 is extremely competitive right now. You got a lot of great guys in the mix, but with Hurd beating errol, everybody wants to see that unification. From what you've seen in that fight, what happens in that fight, and do you feel, because I know there was some news that got put out there that maybe Hurd's targeting Kell Brook, do you feel that we see that fight at the end of the year, and is that the target, to have that fight?
Well, I think that, it's not my personal feelings at all. So it's all about what Jermell wants to do. So if Jermell wants Hurd, which I believe he's going to get Hurd, hopefully, then that's what it is. I mean, I don't get into it. Because this is his career, so I don't want to implement my personal feelings, my personal desires into what he wants to do with his life. So I just hope.
What do you want him to do, though?
Well, I mean, I want him to be the best, man. Do what he. I don't, because I won't be able to sleep. I just told you that. So I can't focus on my personal feelings. But if I had it my way, I would want him to do whatever he wanted to do.
Now, looking at the talent that you have, do you think he's the most talented guy at 154 pounds?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I believe he is. I mean, because talent is different things, right? Talent is skill set, is hand speed, is athleticism. So talent is so many other things. Some people can be very athletic, but not very skilled. some people can be very brute, like a brute, but not very skilled. So it's different. But I think he's the most talented fighter in that division. I believe he is.
You have another guy who's a beast also in your stable as well. And you're like, who is this? Obviously, it's Errol Spence Jr. I saw a picture and some little snippets of them sparring. And me as the inner fan in me is like, how is that? Like, how are the sparrings between them?
Even though I don't think about it, it's amazing to watch. It really is better than most fights because you got two world champions, which you rarely ever see. We don't use sparring partners, so you got two world champions sparring each other. You see nobody. I never heard anybody else doing it, but we do it, and they both bring out the best of each other because they are both very competitive. They're both champs. They both have bragging rights. So it's like they're going there to do their best, man, which is amazing to see.
Do they go at it? Like, you can see, like, they go like 110% with each other.
You know what? I'm not going to say 110. I like 115, 100. They go. So are they trying to knock each other out? Depends on if somebody lands a good shot, then it's on. So they're working, and it's great to watch because the defense is so great, the counter punching, the offense is so great, and that's what I really love to see as a teacher and a trainer. So it looked good.
Now the other fan in me wants to ask, like, who gets the better of the sparring sessions?
Hey man, that's a no-no. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big no. That's a secret. But I had to ask, like
it's really, to be honest, it's so much about. It's really so great but so boring. So it really is. Only person who really enjoy it better was me because I'm the one teaching. So like, if you have a teacher and everybody in the class pass the exam, that teacher's gonna be happy about themselves. So when I'm watching them spar, it's like them passing an exam, them passing the test. So that's beautiful. It's great to see.
Now, the other thing that I would think, you being a trainer and having two guys that are so competitive with each other and also big punchers, is a worry that one of them might get hurt. Is there a hesitation sometimes to have them spar all the time?
No, because they both know they have to keep their hands up and they have to be on the defensive game, which raises the IQ even higher because both of them have that possible potential and they don't want to get hit with they don't want to get with a good shot. So that's why it's so great to have both of them. Their attention span is so high, the focus is so high because they don't want to get hit by the other guy with a good shot. So that's the key element. It raises the IQ, the hands, the block, and the defense. And you have to be on point when you're in the ring, so that's great. I love that.
When I look at Mel, I just think, how does this guy make 154? He's so muscular and he's so big. You knowing him as well as you do, is 54 a weight that he's comfortable with, or is he, the older he gets, struggling a little bit more to make weight? And do you see him eventually moving up in weight, or do you see him at 54 for a while?
Well, I think everybody's life changes. I think everybody evolves and gets bigger, eventually. So I think that may be a possibility. But right now, it's not a possibility. It's okay.
All right. On an ending note, this fight with Austin Trout.
Yeah.
I know you said it drives you nuts, but from what you've seen in the gym, are we going to see an even more impressive performance from Mel in this fight as opposed to the other fights he's had? Because he's had 4 knockouts in a row.
Yeah, but knockouts don't necessarily mean impressive outings, right? But to be able to beat Austin Trout, the guy that we've been seeing, the guy we're preparing for, he has to give another impressive outing. So he has to be better than he has been before, and that's what my goal is every time out, to show a little bit more, to be a little bit better. You see it on the mitts, he's really looking really fast, really sharp. And to be able to deal with Austin Trout, to beat him, you have to be that guy.
All right, Derrick, hey, great catching up with you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. It's fight week, of course. Next Saturday, June 9th, the man Jermell Charlo defends his 154-pound title against Austin Trout at the Staples Center.